I'm living in a nightmare. I'm in pain. I'm breathing heavy, and it just hurts to sit up. The weight is too much.
Folks, this is June, and her opening words are a gut punch. I'm living in a nightmare. She is in agonizing pain, constantly breathing heavily, and struggles to even sit up. Her body is on the verge of giving out, and the sheer weight makes simple movements impossible. Her existence is miserable, and her life has trapped her in a bed which may well soon be a coffin if she doesn't take action soon.
My whole world came crashing down. My son, Mac, was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Being around people he had no business being around, and he was shot and killed. I remember my daughter walked in the door. She said, Mac is dead, Mac is gone. I instantly went no. That was the moment where everything changed.
Now, let's look at the devastating origin of June's struggle. 4 years ago, her whole world shattered when her 17-year-old son, Mac, was shot and killed. This trauma immediately plunged her into a deep, dark, depressive state. She became numb, turning to food as her only comfort. She ate her pain, believing she was feeding her baby by eating foods he loved. Emotional and impulsive eating became a tragic attempt to cope with unbearable loss, an addiction deeply rooted in an unhealed wound.
I'll get what I want. Always have, always will. And now and then, Sadie say, I'm just not gonna go get it. Okay, I have a cell phone. So either you're gonna do it or I'm gonna do it. Take your pick. That ain't that much.
Folks, feast your eyes on this textbook example of toxic enabling. June, in her element and demanding lots of food, is clearly in charge. Her girlfriend Sadie admits June eats what she wants, always has, always will. When Sadie hesitates, June snaps back and says Sadie either does it or she'll call to have somebody don't for her. Sadie, feeling like a caretaker and not a partner, caves, driving off to buy the poison. This actively feeding June's self-destruction, and it's infuriating to see.
Too risky for her to try to get her health under control on her own. We need to help her to start the process. I am very concerned about your health right now. If I send you home, maybe last time I see you.
Dr. Now reviews June's medical history, a stroke, a heart attack, and 21 daily medications. Her body is giving out, and he says she may not have much time left at all. The situation is so dire that he admits her to the hospital immediately because he fears this could be the last time he sees her. He makes it crystal clear she is not ready for bypass, and he doubts she would survive the procedure in her current state.
You need to be on almost zero carb, high protein diet here in the hospital for the next month.
I do have one question. You said no fruit. What about strawberries? Maybe once or twice a day? Only one or two?
You want to eliminate sugar as much as possible.
The strawberries, I'm being very honest with you.
In the hospital, Dr. Now reveals June is suffering from severe malnutrition, despite her immense size, due to her diet of almost no nutritional value. She is complaining about hunger on a strictly controlled diet. Then when asked about eliminating sugar, what is her immediate, desperate plea? Strawberries are my addiction. Despite dealing with life-threatening malnutrition, her primary concern is fruit. The disconnect of her addiction is insane.
Okay, June, you gained 20 pounds. What happened? You may think that this is water weight, but it's not. It's fat. You gain weight because you didn't stick with your diet and exercise.
June returns after her hospital stay having gained 20 pounds. She blames fluid. Dr. Now is boiling and calls her out directly for her unwillingness to change, stating she uses sickness for attention. He tells her she wants the walker and needs to lose it. June argues, insisting he is wrong. Dr. Now isn't having it, and he goes ballistic, tearing down her every excuse and forcing her to confront her self-sabotage head-on.
About 5 years ago, my 17-year-old son was killed, and I had a heart attack about a month after that.
From the stress of losing your son?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Since then, I've been in and out the hospital a lot.
This therapy session is a crucial turning point. June reluctantly opens up about the devastating loss of her son, Mac. She admits to feeling numb and shutting down after his death. The therapist gently but firmly pushes her to acknowledge the deep loss with a capital L and the trauma she experienced, emphasizing the link to her weight. June, through tears, finally starts to process the raw grief she has buried for years, realizing she must sit with the feelings.
This is Mac's birthday, and my baby girl and I are going to release balloons and remember my son. I'm telling Mac I love him, I miss him, and it hurts not having him here with me. It will hurt every day until the day I die, but I will live with that pain.
On what would have been Mac's birthday, June, accompanied by her daughter, releases balloons into the sky. She openly grieves, tearfully stating that the pain will hurt every day until the day I die, but vows to live with that pain. This is profound, people. It shows she is finally confronting her grief, rather than burying it with food. She is learning to be strong, recognizing that living her life doesn't mean forgetting her son, a massive emotional breakthrough for her.
So, how are you today?
I'm good.
I see you losing some weight. Can you tell the difference?
Yes, I feel good. Everything is looking good. When you recommended me to the therapist, I give it to you. It worked.
I had a feeling it would. June has lost over 200 pounds.
What a phenomenal transformation. June has lost over 200 pounds just 1 year after starting her journey. She proudly tells Dr. Now that therapy worked and that she is walking without her walker. She is getting her hair done at a salon, something she once only dreamed of. Dr. Now is beaming with pride, praising her progress, and setting a goal of 200 pounds. June is no longer just existing. She is living life and loving every second of it.
My knees are constantly in pain. My body is pretty stiff because I haven't moved all night, so it's hard for me to walk, and I have to take a lot of breaks.
Meet Cynthia, a mother of 5 living on borrowed time. She is trapped in a body where every single movement is agonizing, her legs constantly swollen. Just look at this. She says she hates that she is completely trapped in her body. Even worse, her immense size prevents her from bathing herself properly, and she needs her young daughter, Ukiah, to clean her legs to prevent infection. If there's one thing Cynthia knows, it's that her life isn't ideal.
And that feeling of loneliness and rejection just got worse over time. In high school, Valentine's Day was the worst day of the year for me. I felt alone and ugly. Why does nobody like me? One Valentine's Day, it got really dark, and the only way I knew to end it was to take a bunch of pills.
Now let's talk about the soul-crushing origin of this pain. Cynthia speaks of a dark period in high school, a deep sense of loneliness and rejection that drove her to a suicide attempt with pills. She felt ugly and unloved. That attempt failed, but the self-destructive coping mechanism was born. Food became her refuge, her comfort against isolation. She admits that when she ate, she was not alone. Food was a means to block out the pain and noise from the world.
And before I even get to work, the stress of the day is already on me. So even though I've had breakfast, I stopped to get a snack. 3 large jalapeno kolaches, 2 glazed twists, a donut hole, a small orange juice, and a large one. I am a special education teacher, and being a teacher requires being on your feet all day.
Folks, look at the scene at the drive-thru. Even with a medical diagnosis and an appointment in Houston, Cynthia is ordering 3 large jalapeno kolaches, 2 glazed twists, and 2 juices. She blames the stress of the day, admitting she has to get a snack even after breakfast. This is addiction in action, a clear moment of self-sabotage under the pretense of needing comfort. She's already admitting that old habits die hard, undermining the very reason she is on this journey. Terribly sad to see, to be honest.
I'm here to your waiting room.
That's it?
It's about as much as she wants to do.
Okay, so you're 42, and the likelihood that you're gonna make this 50 are not very good if you keep this up.
Cynthia's attempts to frame her immobility as a minor inconvenience, but Dr. Now immediately points out she can walk barely the length of his waiting room, stating the likelihood of her making it to 50 is not very good. That is a death sentence, people. He sets the ultimatum: lose 30 pounds in 1 month. His voice is a reality check in this entire dysfunctional situation, tearing down her illusions of control and time.
I had no idea I'd gone in the wrong direction.
All right, so I noticed you gained 4 pounds. So what's going on with that?
I've been kind of sick the last couple of weeks.
What kind of sickness?
I've had like a upper respiratory.
Yeah, having an upper respiratory infection is not an indication of falling off your diet.
Cynthia returns after a month, and the scale shows a gain of 4 pounds. Her excuse? She claims to have been sick and missed exercise. Dr. Now is not having it. He begins tearing down her alibi. Having an upper respiratory infection is not a reason for falling off your diet. Then she tries to claim she eats only 1 large meal a day. Dr. Now doesn't mince words. 1 meal that size supports her current 600-pound body because she's going nowhere fast. He sees the lies, calling out her excess caloric intake directly to her face.
It's 4 pounds. I feel like I got beat up over 4 pounds. All he cares about is numbers.
We'll get back on track.
And I'm struggling to pay to get down to Texas for this doctor. My kids look at me every goddamn night. Mama, what's for dinner? Sometimes I don't have a answer.
This is a full-blown meltdown, fueled by pure outrage and self-pity. Cynthia explodes at her brother Clarence, screaming and raving that she doesn't want to do this anymore. She wants to go back to her fat life and screw all these expectations. Her 4-pound gain sent her into a hysterical fit, all because the doctor called her out. She is weaponizing her sadness and frustration, attempting to drag her support system back down with her. It's actually hard to have any sympathy for her after this dramatic tantrum driven by her deep-seated refusal to take any responsibility for her life.
And that's very risky for putting somebody to sleep and doing weight loss surgery. So I'm going to send you to the hospital so we can run some tests on you, make sure you are safe for anesthesia.
After a terrifying 2 months missing an appointment and that blow up with her brother, Cynthia returns. The scale shows a massive loss, 77 pounds in total. Dr. Now is genuinely proud and approves her for surgery. This is the earned reward, a powerful moment that validates her effort against immense pressure. However, he immediately sends her for tests and warns her that her body mass index is still over 100, making the surgery extremely high risk. This victory is fragile, and it's still too early to celebrate.
I guess for me, I'm confused.
With all of those emotions, how were you coping at that time if you weren't eating?
I didn't turn to food at any point.
So at what point did the pounds started to pile on?
Dr. Now is gone, but the voice of reason arrives in the form of a therapist. Cynthia, approved for surgery after her brother pushes her back on track, is now forced into counseling. She is resistant and explicitly denies she has an emotional trigger, declaring she just loves to eat. The therapist gently probes the connection between her childhood trauma and her size. Yet Cynthia remains adamantly closed off, unwilling to face the reality that life happened. This stubbornness is a huge red flag that she will eventually spiral back to her comfort food habit.
I appreciate all the help he's given me, but I've decided if he's pushing me for therapy, I don't need to see him right now. I need to spend some time doing this my way. I don't need him trying to make connections to things that aren't there.
And here it is, the sad, predictable conclusion. Cynthia is home, post-surgery, claiming she is sticking to her plan, but the internal struggle is evident. Despite Dr. Now's insistence, she has stopped seeing the therapist, stating that she doesn't need any help and she's doing it her way. She has actively rejected the necessary psychological support to deal with her deep-seated issues. She leaves Dr. Now's program, choosing to believe she can fight her addiction alone. She has traded physical dependency for mental denial, guaranteeing her failure down the line.
The first thing that happens each morning is I get out of bed and my stomach nearly hits the floor. Just hangs there. And it is putting intense pressure on the rest of my body. My belly is sagging more and more.
Tami is trapped in a body that is actively rebelling against her. She starts her day with her massive stomach nearly hitting the floor, putting intense pressure on her entire frame. She is constantly off balance, facing sheer misery every waking moment. This isn't living, and she confesses that her physical state is her fault, and the self-loathing is very clear. She's hit rock bottom, and she desperately wants to be anywhere but there.
My mom and I were in the kitchen fixing something, and my dad was walking into the living room, and he collapsed and fell to the floor, had a heart attack, and died. After my father passed away, my life was never the same. My mom just fell apart. She had a hard time getting out of bed, and she went into a deep depression.
At 8 years old, Tami watched her father die from a heart attack right in front of her. Then, her mother plunged into a deep depression, effectively leaving Tami without parents. Alone, she turned to food, which became her friend, her parent, her loved one. She began buying anything she wanted, gorging herself until sick. And so Tami discovered a very terrible coping mechanism that's led her to 600 pounds.
James and I started fighting a lot.
When we were younger, I didn't know that I had a problem with bipolar, and that really did a number on our relationship, you know, because I would have these anger outbursts.
He would sit there and talk about how I was a slob, how I was a fat cow, or I was just more or less a horrible person.
All right, let's talk about the deeply dysfunctional marriage. James, Tami's husband, admits he likes bigger girls, which initially attracted him to her, but then he turned verbally abusive, calling her a fat cow, tearing her apart emotionally. This is truly sickening to witness. She claims food was her only solace because it wouldn't yell at her. Make it make sense. She stayed with a man who shamed her, reinforcing her addiction. This is not love. It's a toxic situation that enabled her to spiral into even even greater despair.
But you have gotten to a place where you just eat poorly all day long and you're not active.
Yes.
Okay, help me understand your dynamic at home. Do you get the food for yourself, or is he bringing you and insisting that you eat all that unhealthy food, or you asking for it?
He never tells me no.
Dr. Now sees Tami at 591 pounds, admitting to eating poorly and being inactive. Then comes the truth bomb for James, her husband. Dr. Now calls him the enabler, passively allowing Tami to slowly kill herself. He diagnoses Tami's manipulation, highlighting her victim mentality. He delivers the stark ultimatum: lose 40 pounds in 1 month, or she will die. Straight, hard facts, cards on the table.
My family is not changing their diet for me. It used to be where we pretty much ate the same thing at night for dinner, but now I'm having to make meals for them and a completely different one for me. And it's hard because I see their food and it looks so good. I miss it.
After seeing Dr. Now, Tami confesses she is not getting the support she thought she would. James is distant, and her family is not changing their eating habits. She's measuring her food, but the temptations of their junk food are everywhere. She states food was her friend. The emotional void resurfaces, and the environment at home is actively undermining her efforts, and it's brutal for her. The path to recovery requires a complete overhaul, not just a diet.
It really started when I was a kid. My dad passed away when I was 8, and I seen him. He actually died in front of me, and my mom kind of shut down.
So you almost, in a way, lost both parents in a sense, right?
Yeah, and it was a very lonely childhood growing up.
Yeah.
This therapy session is a cathartic breakthrough. Tami finally, painfully unearths the core wound: her father's death, her mother's subsequent depression, and James's verbal abuse. She realizes she lost both parents, and that James's toxic behavior was enabling. The therapist helps her articulate that she is deserving and worthy. This conversation is an emotional excavation, dismantling a lifetime of feeling worthless and seeking toxic comfort. She is finally learning to let go of the toxic relationships that held her captive.
Your heart is okay, so it's most likely pneumonia. That combined with how weak your lungs have been led to you overexerting yourself and passing out.
Tami, despite her weight loss, is battling pneumonia and dangerously weak lungs. She passed out doing laundry. Dr. Now, with a grave expression, cancels her impending surgery. He tells her the risk is too high, that her body would not survive the operation. James, ever the passive enabler, is right there, nagging her. This is a devastating setback, a brutal reminder that her body is on the verge of collapse. Sometimes, even our best tries aren't enough.
And you kept up with your weight loss, so I'm approving you for weight loss surgery.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And we'll get you in tomorrow so you don't have to wait anymore, okay?
All right, thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.
And then, the hard-won victory. Tami returns, having lost another 53 pounds, bringing her total to nearly 100 pounds. Dr. Now is visibly pleased, acknowledging her effort. Her lungs are recovering, her blood pressure is good. He finally approves her for surgery. This is the earned reward, a powerful moment that validates her relentless fight against immense odds. He schedules her for surgery the very next day, a testament to his belief in her renewed commitment. Approval feels less like a victory lap and more like a starting gun.
So you lost almost 250 pounds. Well, how's your life changed since you started the program?
I mean, I can do so much. Just getting out, doing things, not having to depend on people, just, take care of myself. I don't have to have somebody else take care of me.
What an incredible transformation. Tami has lost almost 250 pounds, finally breaking into the 300s. She is doing things independently, grocery shopping alone for the first time in years. Her relationship with Zachary is flourishing as they are active together. She talks about not needing to depend on people and being able to walk and go out. She admits to ups and downs, but is proud of her life's complete overhaul. Dr. Now confirms she will reach her goal weight. This story is beautiful and inspiring.
Because of my size, I don't do much of anything. I don't move much. Basically, my day is in the bed, stuck. It's not easy. This is what I am ashamed of.
Guys, meet Tara. She confesses her daily routine involves little more than staying in bed, stuck. Look at this. She recoils from her own reflection, disgusted, despising the massive apron belly that hangs off her. She even says with visceral pain that if she could cut it off right now, she would, no hesitation. This is not living. This is a slow, agonizing death sentence playing out in a single room. This is a terrible existence.
When I was 26, I was raped. And I got pregnant from the rape. And I had a miscarriage. I was heavy, but afterwards, I kept getting heavier.
Tara's story is heartbreaking, a life of almost endless trauma. At 26, she endured a horrific rape, followed by a miscarriage. That, people, is a double blow that shatters the soul. She sought refuge in food, believing that if she made herself unattractive, no man would ever want to touch her again. Food became her shield, her twisted form of protection from a world that had let her down so brutally.
I'm helping her to stay like she is because it's hard to serve her and tell her that's all you can have. I always end up giving to her. She's my child.
Tara's mother, Paula, is the face of enabling, and she openly admits she helps her to stay exactly as she is, struggling to deny her daughter food. She frames it as a mother's love, asking, "How can you tell a child, no, you can't have this food?" This dangerous codependency actively is contributing to Tara's demise. Meanwhile, Tara's own children are being raised by their grandmother because Tara cannot move.
I'm Dr. Nazard and Tara. You have been overweight for how long?
I've always been overweight.
What seems to be a problem that you're not able to lose weight?
Enter Dr. Now, and he does not pull any punches. He immediately points out the obvious. You do not get to be 600 pounds by eating properly. Tara's casual admission of multiple meals and incessant snacking reveals how far gone she is. Dr. Now estimates she is consuming at least 6,000 calories a day. He then turns to her mother, pulling her into the confrontation, making it clear that her enabling is a critical part of the problem. He lays it out. Fix your eating disorder or you won't survive.
The numbers weren't what I wanted it to be.
Hello there. Hello, how y'all doing?
Good.
How's your diet and everything coming along?
I'm sticking to my diet. I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
Amazingly, you haven't lost any weight in 1 month.
I've lost 5 pounds.
5 pounds in 1 month?
Yeah, I used to gain 20 pounds in 1 month. That's good.
Here's the first stumble, and it leads to a painful realization. Tara is post-surgery, claiming she is diligently sticking to her diet, doing everything right. Yet, when Dr. Now reveals her weight loss is a mere 5 pounds in a month, she is shocked. She tells him she used to gain 20 pounds in a month, but Dr. Now sees right through it, calling her out for not being truthful. Delusion meet cold reality, ha ha.
I'm even moving more. Like I'm going crazy, like I'm not trying, I'm trying.
On some days, effort and struggle is your only option for success. The last doctor's visit, I didn't have the weight loss that my doctor wanted. I've decided I'm ready to make a change.
And then the dam breaks. Dr. Now has had it up to here. If she does not make progress, he can do no more. The truth hits Tara like a physical blow. She crumples, sobbing, proclaiming she is trying, damn it. You hear the raw pain in her voice, the agony of feeling misunderstood and unseen in her struggle. She's collapsed emotionally, and her reality has been badly shaken. You can't help but feel out for poor Tara.
Don't think about yourself. They say, Mom, I'm hungry. Okay, what do you want?
You have to make the decision that this surgery, which is a big deal, changed your life enough that you matter. And we'll get there. It's not going to happen overnight. You matter in this. It's hard when you haven't put yourself first. And you're right, our kids have to come first.
The trainer confronts Tara about her missed sessions and her deep-seated belief that her children come first, telling her, "You matter in this." It is a powerful moment as Tara, through tears, finally acknowledges that she has never put herself first. Her trainer insists that she has to be willing to show her true self, raw and vulnerable. Her trainer then cuts through her self-protective lies, forcing her to confront the emotional baggage that fueled her addiction.
This time, I know I've made progress. These past couple of months, I've really pushed myself to the limit. I hope that's enough to get approval for my skin surgery.
You lost a lot of weight. I'm proud of you sticking to the program.
After relentless hard work and that difficult emotional breakthrough, Tara stands before Dr. Now. She's been consistently active, even walking through department stores without her scooter. Dr. Now acknowledges her progress, his face reflecting a cautious approval. He then delivers the incredible news. She is approved for skin removal surgery. This is one more surgery that'll help Tara steer her life back to normal, and she's grateful for it.
I will never forget who that 600-pound person was.
I'll always love her, but I sure the hell won't miss her.
I have a world of possibilities. I just can't wait to start living my life.
Look at this transformation. Tara is a new woman, not just physically lighter, but radiating a newfound joy. She is in the kitchen, cooking healthy meals with her children, a stark contrast to her previous bedridden existence. She is helping her son get ready for school, cherishing every precious moment. This is what it means to reclaim your life. She acknowledges the 600-pound person she once was, but now sees a world of possibilities. studies, declaring her whole new life is gonna work. Beautiful.